Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. The storms are over. The sun is out. The birds are singing. It's going to be hotter than hell. All has returned to normal. Woohoo! So welcome to midweek, even though it seems still like the beginning of the week because Monday was a weird day. We hope you have an awesome week this week, including an awesome day today. Lots to cover, so let's jump right in and get started with a quick smile from my good friend, Steve Harvey.
Now, today we showed you some of the best new hair trends out there with Cynthia Bailey, right? So I figure if I'm gonna show you what the best hair trends out there, probably ought to show you what else is out there too. Okay, this dad's hairspray bill. Daddy, please don't come up to the school no more. Remember when this was in style right here? Woof, woof, woof. Woof. That's the poodle cut. Woof, woof, woof. Well, this mother right here didn't stop at her own bad hair. Yeah, her mama looked in the mirror and said, OMG, this is hot. I'm gonna have everybody rocking that. Look at the daddy's face though, cause he going down. How about this one right here, folks? This is what happens when you leave your kids at the house by themselves. This boy done decided he gonna run a part down the middle of his head and get some of his mama's hair dye and do one side. I blame this on parenting. You know which one of your children you can't leave at home by themselves. Then this one right here. Now, what you need to do is look at the two babies' faces. And look at the dude right there, because he just discovered he was married to Little Richard. That was so funny to me. Hey, thanks to all my guests and everything.
All righty. No accounting for good taste, no accounting for anything else. Now, speaking of people that always have really good hair, one of my friends from Guaranteed Rate is on this morning. Is it Kristen?
I'm right here.
It is. Good morning. How you doing?
I had big hair in the 80s and I actually loved it. The bigger the better. Love the 80s. Actually, this weekend my son had a baseball tournament and we had a long drive and he wanted to kill me because it was Weeby 80s. So it was 80s music for like an hour there and an hour back. He's 15 and he was not happy with me, but it was awesome. So anyway, hello everybody, happy Wednesday. Quickly, I wanted to share with you some of the things that we talk about with clients when they start the mortgage process and they get an accepted offer, and they we go through the do's and don'ts. And surprisingly enough, not everybody knows what not to do when you're in the loan process. I've had some crazy stuff happen. I've had people buy cars. I've had people take out loans. I've had people do all kinds of things. So, and I get asked the question a lot, can I take out a loan, like a personal loan for down payment? And the answer is no. However, you can do a home equity loan on your house to use for another property. So there's a couple of things. I always tell people, and I talk to the agent and I talk to the client about like what not to do, and big purchases on a credit card, opening new credit, buying a car is a big one. I've had people buy cars in the middle of the loan process. And that just causes issues, not only with the debt to income, if they're close, but when you buy a car, it takes a little while to get that statement of what the monthly payment's going to be. And sometimes we can't get it in time and it pushes everything out. So those things become an issue. Another one was buying a car, taking out a loan. There's a lot of things that just, we talk about in the beginning, and I try to reiterate to people, or switching jobs is another one. I've had people switch jobs in the middle, and it's fine if it happens. We need to know. So I've also had that happen where it's like, oh, but we ask for a pay stub to update, at the end of the process, and oh, they have a new job. So most of the time it's okay, but it's some of these things that we just need to talk about. That's all. So I'm here again, like I've always said, I'm here to answer questions, to talk about whatever, questions that you guys have about the do's and don'ts of the mortgage process. And also, if you'd like to know about how to get your hair as big as possible, I'm good at that too. So.
A woman of all talents. I love it.
Exactly. I'll put my info in the chat, and hope to talk to you all at some point.
There we go. So just to follow up, Kristen, your children would not like ever driving with me because I have Sirius XM radio, and I am tuned to 80s on 8 pretty much nonstop. So it's not just an hour there and an hour back. It's 24/7.
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
All righty. So thank you so much for that info. A couple of quick announcements for you. Today at 1 o'clock in this very Zoom room, right where you are now, we will be having a discussion and going through some halftime strategies. If you remember, we started that last week. We're going to spend a solid 45 or 50 minutes together today going through where you are versus where you wanted to be, and then really focusing in not really on the rear view mirror, but out the front view of what strategies are you using between now and the end of October, right? Which is when we really have to write business, the end of October, to finish your year the way you desire to finish your year. So tune in for that. Lots of great things to discuss and strategies to make sure that you are on the road to the success that you desire. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, just wanted to give a quick plug. We are having a listing agent mastermind. By the way, for that, we do need listing agents to participate in the listing agent mastermind, just in case you were curious about how that worked. And the topic for tomorrow is, and I've been asked by a bunch of you to bring this to the table, so please do choose to participate. The topic is, what strategies do you use to get properties to the market? A lot of you have asked me, do people put the properties on the same day of the week and then have a strategy for open houses and showings and all of that stuff? Are you using coming soon strategically? Are you delaying listings to be able to get the photos ready and then going coming soon and then going live? So a discussion about what time frame you're using and what strategies you're using to get properties to the market and launch them strongly. So again, another 45 or 50 minutes conversation around what you're doing successfully and what we know some of your colleagues are doing. So do plug into that. We're excited to bring you that tomorrow. Hey, really big announcement this morning. After a year of land lubbing last summer, we are excited to announce the return of the Capper Cruise this year. Woo, baby. I don't know about you, but for anyone who's ever been on one of our Capper Cruises, they are definitely one of the highlights of the year. So qualifications for that are that you have capped in the previous 12 months. For this year, we are extending that back 2 years, right? So if you were a capper in the last rolling 12 months, or a capper from last summer to the summer of 2019, you will get that invite, because for anybody who capped in that 19 to 20 year, the celebration last summer was postponed. It was pushed a year. Here's what's really cool. We are going back to the New York Capper Cruise, right? So those of you who have been on both, the one on the Sound versus the one around Manhattan, we are going back to the Manhattan Capper Cruise. And for those of you who were there 2 years ago, which was our first Manhattan Capper Cruise, this time we have the whole boat. So it's our boat with a DJ on the 3rd floor, open air dance floor. It'll be awesome. So we're really excited. Do watch for your invite if you are qualified. And if you don't yet qualify for the Capper Cruise, here is one thing that you can definitely use as incentive to close some more business as quickly as possible, because you definitely want that invite for the next one. So excited to push that out there. Oh, I didn't tell you the date, September 14th. September 14th. I believe it's a Tuesday. Steve Scott, nod your head if that's correct. Okay, excellent. So it's a Tuesday evening. We will be providing buses from Fairfield County down to the launch site in Flushing, and then the cruise, and then buses back. So you can feel free to not drive and drink if you prefer. All right. So it is Wednesday, so I will give you a quick update on our new listings challenge, simply because Wednesdays to me equals listings challenge info. So as you know, last week on Thursday, I issued a brand new challenge for July through the end of August. And that was an additional 300 listings, which is about 35 a week between now and the end of August. As of this morning, you're not quite a week in. You're only 6 days in, right? Because you haven't actually had an opportunity to do anything today. However, with only 6 days under your belt, not a full 7, out of the 35 for the full week that you need to hit, with rentals, you're right on target at 35. Without rentals, you're at 27. But again, you have today to get those listings up and posted on the MLS. Give me half a second. Mute is a beautiful thing when you have something caught in your throat. And I don't have to irritate everybody with disgustingness. All right. So do watch for your opportunity to take another listing and get that listing posted on the MLS as quickly as you possibly can, so that we can continue to monitor those numbers. Guys, here's what I know. If anybody can hit 300 between now and the end of August, it's you. So let's just keep pushing and keep going and keep amazing, not just yourselves, but everybody around you with your ability to find those sellers and get them listed on the market. All right, so before I turn it over to Adonis with Marty Miller this morning, I did want to throw out to you 3 great resources for a booming business. Now, some of you are going to say, come on, that's cheap when I reveal those 3 sources. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to push that thought aside and say, if he's bringing it up, it must mean that there's a reason he's bringing it up. And maybe I should plug into those 3 resources, even though they seem like I've been there, done that. Is that a deal? No judgment? Don't judge me. I won't come back next Wednesday if you continue to judge me. That's not true. I'm not really, it's all good. So the first resource that I want to point you to for a booming business is this one. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's written by a dude named Gary Keller. You might have heard it, you might have seen it. Some of you maybe even read it once. Here's what I'm going to suggest that you do. If you haven't read this year, pick this book up and read it again. It's a really fast read. If you don't want to read the whole book, dive into lead generation. What's the lead generation model talk about? How is Gary guiding us to build a bigger business based on some of the models that he's put in place? Spend a little time in this book, spend a little time up front about the myths of building a big business and what it is you should be looking for and what it is you should be avoiding. Spend a little time on the big why, right? Page 77, I think, right? So the idea of this book as a resource, as a tool, take it off your shelf and check it out again, because it's as relevant to you now as it was the first time you read it. There are some of you on this call who have never read this book. And here's my opinion about that. You can't call yourself a real estate agent if you've never read this book. So let's dive in and get some perspective direct from the source, and again, focus in on that lead generation model. The second resource I want to bring to your attention today is this one. It's called Shift. It's written by a dude named Gary Keller. Interestingly enough, it's the same guy who wrote that last resource I just mentioned, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I'm not sure how that happened. And yet, coincidences abound, right? So the reality of Shift is, this is an entire book built on 12 tactics to handle shifting business. Shifting can happen when it shifts up, as it's doing now, or shifts down. The shift, it doesn't matter which way it's shifting. So dive in, find a couple of these tactics. If you're not interested in reading the book cover to cover, Read some in the beginning where it talks about mindset, and then let me help you focus on a couple of tactics. Tactic number 2, I think, is find the motivated, right? That's about lead generation. So what if you dove into tactic number 2? Nope, sorry, that's number 4. So find the motivated is tactic number 4. The other one I would encourage is tactic 9, creating urgency. How are you creating urgency in your business with your clients, both buyer and seller? That's a really good tactic. And when you utilize this book as a tool, it's not just words. You start to figure out implementable action items that can bring you forward. The other thing I would encourage you to do around Shift is join some of your colleagues. I know that Donna and Debbie, and I think a couple of others of you are on James Shaw call every single morning at 8 o'clock, right? The Shift call. So jump in on that. Hey, Donna, if you want to put where they go to find that. Oh, you just put it in the chat. Well, there you go. See, there you have it. Donna's 3 steps ahead of me as usual. So check the chat box if you're interested in that. And the last resource I want to bring to your attention this morning looks something like this. It's called The One Thing. Now, this one happens to be written by a guy named, oh, my Christmas, look at that. It's Gary Keller again. I'm not sure how that occurred. All 3 books by Gary Keller ended up on my desk to discuss with you this morning. And here's the reason why I want you to dive back into The One Thing. Because The One Thing has nothing to do with real estate, which means it has everything to do with real estate. It has everything to do with your head and about organizing your head, which helps you organize your life. Which, guess what? If you have an organized head and organized life, that will seep into your business. You'll have an organized business. Your business will boom. What I would encourage you to do, again, if you're not interested in reading this cover to cover, focus on part 1. Read about all the lies. Read about the lie of multitasking, the lie of discipline, the lie of willpower. My favorite is the lie of big being bad, right? So check out The One Thing all over again. And if you take nothing else away from your read or perusal through that, remember this, the focusing question that The One Thing brings to the table is this. What if focused on, no, I screwed that up. What is the one thing that if focused on would make everything else either unnecessary or easier? Which, by the way, I also screwed up. So read the book to get the actual focusing question, because clearly I should have written it down. Right, but take that information away from here and implement it in your business. So those are my 3 resources for a booming business this morning: the MREA, Shift, and The One Thing. Again, don't just keep them as books on your bookshelf. Use them as resources. Take them down and actually dive into them to see how they can assist you. Want a bonus? Am I frozen? No, okay. All of a sudden my screen said not responding, so I wondered. I'll give you a bonus. Here's my bonus for booming businesses this morning. The bonus is this: podcasts. Podcasts is my bonus to you, right? Dive into podcasts. They're simple and easy. You can do them while you're exercising. You can do them while you're taking a walk. You can do them while you're doing the laundry. You can do them while you're doing almost anything, right? Just pop them in your ear. They're anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour long, different topics. I suggest a couple. I know a bunch of you have a lot of podcasts you like, and I'd love for you to pop them in the chat box so that as we turn this over to Adonis from Marty Miller, you all can see what each other are listening to. The ones that I like are Gary Keller's Think Like a CEO. There's one that Chris Suarez does that I can't remember the name of. So if somebody remembers the name of it, you can pop that in the chat. There's also one by another KW EXP pairing, Chris Craddock, and I forget his name. It's called The Uncommon Lunchbox. That happens, I think, every Tuesday and Thursday, and then they post them as podcasts. So there's a ton of information out there relevant to you and your business about growth, about listing taking, about working with buyers, about investments, about all that kind of stuff built into these podcasts. It's like having a class with these people on demand, right? That's what's kind of cool about it. So if you're looking for
I'm not sure what happened with Rick there. Seems like he may have gotten disconnected.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So,
Oof.
all right. And the problem is, so Nikki, you've now been made the host.
Take it from here, Nikki. Come on.
All right. So take it away, Nikki.
All right, Nikki.
Come on, Nikki. We believe in you.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Let's
Nikki.
see if he allowed us to share. Okay. So Nikki, you need to allow us to share our screen. And what we'll do is I will pull up the Marty Miller video for today, and we will continue.
Oh, there he is. He's resurfaced behind WR.
The ghost of WR.
Nikki, do you know how to give us access to share the
screen
screen?
sharing?
I don't know how to do it from my phone. Let
Oh,
me see.
Oh, yeah, you're on your phone.
okay.
Oops.
Nikki, if you click on participants on your phone, you can make one of us the host, I believe.
All right, so I'm gonna just click on your name.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Great
I'm the
job.
host. Okay, cool. Let me give you share screen ability. Dan.
And which day are we
All right,
on?
you're all set,
Day
Dan.
23.
Thanks, Nikki. 24, Dan.
Of course we are.
Which, by the way, is an amazing show. Anybody see 24? That was one of my favorite shows.
Oh
when
my
it was out.
God, you just brought up 24. I can't
Come
believe you just brought
on.
up
24 is amazing.
Dude, that was like my college era show.
Yeah, me too.
College.
No way. We weren't in
college.
college together, Adonis.
We weren't in college together, but Dan, you strike me as a man of academia. You probably always are in college.
I'm always in college. I'm in college right now. I'm at KW University right now.
Nice.
All right, day 24. Here we go. This is one of my favorite things to do because this is a question I get asked all the time. So everybody pay attention.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We have to watch the ad real quick.
Is this an ad for the new Top Gun? You can serve as a
I
pilot.
don't know. Google must have been listening to my conversation the other day with April talking about how I almost ended up going into the military because now they're serving me military ads.
Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 5.0, and today is day 24. So for the last 3 days or so, we've been talking about the Referrals applet, and today is no different. Today, though, we're going to focus a little off of agent referrals and more at office referrals. Why would I need an office referral? Well, let's say that you have a friend somewhere outside of your local market. So I'm in the Katy market. Let's say that I have a friend in, I don't know, we can go back to Cleveland, Ohio, right? That's just an easy one because we were there yesterday, I believe. But they say they're interested in getting into real estate. They've heard great things about Keller Williams from me and from others, and they are interested in potentially considering becoming a KW agent in Cleveland. Do I know any agents there? Can I refer them to an office? Well, off the top of my head, I don't. However, I can use the referral map for that. So let's come into our referrals app. It is the 5th application down here, the applet. We're going to open the referrals applet and we're going to come back to the map tab. So we spent some time there yesterday or Friday, excuse me. So once we come into the map tab, we can now change production to market center. And you're going to see on the map, all of these dots represent market centers. And kind of the fun part, you can actually scroll out and see market centers that are international as well. So we've got some down in South America, and it takes a little while to load. And yet if we scroll over to Europe and Africa and some of these other areas, in just a second, you will see those market centers actually load as well. So if you're ever planning on some international travel, maybe you check out some of the offices we have there. But coming back to the US, we're going to search the map for Cleveland, Ohio, right? Which is where we have the agent that's potentially looking to join a market center. And so on the map here, you can see that in the greater Cleveland area, we've got about 5 market centers. Look like we had one up here at the top. There it goes. And so I can click on any one of these market centers to get additional information about said market center. So if I clicked on this first one, I could see that this is citywide, located in Westlake. And then I've got Elevate, located in Strongsville. We have got KW Living over in Salon. And then we've got Greater Metropolitan in the Cleveland City. And then of course, up top, we've got Greater Cleveland Northeast in Mentor, Ohio. So I could find out from my friend, hey, you know, where in Cleveland are you? Are you in east, west, south? Or I could just say, hey, here's 3 or 4. You might find out which one's closest to you. Even better yet, you can come in, right? And so you've got the information here. We've got agents here on the left-hand side. And so you can click on any of these agents if you were looking for more information. We talked about that earlier, but you also have the ability to go into white pages. So this is one of my favorites as well. You may not know about this, but we're going to go to mykw.kw.com and we are going to log in and then come down to white pages here at the bottom right. Sometimes it's even better to actually reach out to the team leader of that specific market center. So now I have a market center information tab here. And if I click on market center information, it allows me to search for office name. So if we come back to command, we call this one Citywide in Westlake, Ohio. So if we come back to white pages, let me pull that up. And let's see, it was called Citywide, Westlake, Ohio. Whoops, excuse me. Let's get that PowerPoint down. There we go. Citywide, and it was Westlake. And so if I do a search, there we go. There's the Citywide Market Center located in Westlake, Ohio. And if I begin to scroll down, you will see that you get OP, team leader, MCA, and broker. So if I wanted to reach out to the team leader and say, hey, I've got an agent candidate for you, I could click on Janet Martin's name. It's going to open Janet's profile. And here you can see as I scroll down, I get a whole profile about Janet. I've got a cell phone number, I've got an office number, and I've got an email address. So either I could reach out and make the introduction between Janet and my actual agent. I might leave Janet a voicemail and see if she could do it. I'm sure she would prefer kind of a warm introduction between the two. And yet, you know, kind of to each their own. Probably better to make a warm introduction than just to say, Janet, call my friend. But this is a way that you can find offices across the nation. And like we said, internationally as well. When we scroll all the way back out, you'll see that if we do click on any of these additional offices, right? So let's go to the DR, you can start to see some offices show up and you can click on any one of these and actually see information, right? So here's the information about KW Norte and Santiago. So a great way to kind of find referral offices for agents that are looking to join Keller Williams, a great way for you to build your profit share downline and obviously introduce the amazing opportunity that is Keller Williams to friends and family across the US and across the globe. That's it for today, guys. Day 24 of the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 5.0. Tomorrow, we're going to dive into referral patterns. So stay tuned for that. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks so much.
Okay, that is so cool. I did not know you could look internationally. I did not know that. That is so cool. Good stuff.
Cool.
And if you would like to learn more information about how to build your profit share downline, join Steve and I next Wednesday for our next edition of our profit share team meeting. That will be next Wednesday. You'll hear more details about that in your email later this week. Adonis, what do we have coming up tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we're going to talk about tracking referral patterns in KW Command. So definitely stay tuned because we're going to continue this referral Marty going on. And I just think,
how could that be helpful for an agent's business?
oh my gosh, the more referral partners you have, the better. They're gonna, because you can make money from any business that you write on your own. You can make money through profit share. You also can maximize making money through referrals. I think at one point, Christopher Grass did a great job just building up his referral network. So helping other people and having them help, it's just an awesome platform that we have, underutilized in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us despite the technical difficulties. And you all have a wonderful day. It's going to be bright and sunny. Enjoy it. Get out there and get some sun. Get that vitamin D.